Hi there, I'm Budda and you're watching Dr. Guitar, a show for all you guitarists out there. In today's episode, I got a special guest. A lot of you have been asking me to review this amp, to show off this amp. So here it is, the Harley Benton Tube 15 Selection. I know there's a lot of people asking if it compares to a Blues Junior. I'm not comparing it today with a Blues Junior, but please let me know if you want me to compare it. First of all, let me thank my dear patrons for supporting the show. If you want to become a patron, it's super easy. Just go to the link and follow the steps. You can also support the channel by contributing to the tip jar. I thank you in advance. If you are interested in guitar lessons, just send me an email or a direct message on Facebook or Instagram and we'll deal with it from there. Also, if you like the show and the episode, please consider to subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification and leave the thumbs up. It's important for YouTube to share this video with as many people as we can. Thanks a lot and let's go. So this is a 15 watt tube amp with reverb and a Celestion 80 speaker. I don't really like the Celestion, but it sounds cool in this amp. Let me show you the controls on the amp, which are very similar to the Blues Junior, but they have a special one which is called tone. If you have been watching the show, you know how I like to test amps. Mainly with my nags, because it's the guitar I really know. If I was a guitar, this would be me. If I was born into a guitar shape, this would be the guitar I would be. And I like to test all the amps with the guitar that I'm very familiar with. We are playing also through my main pedal board, through the amp, so I can show you how the amp reacts to pedals. But first, let's go straight to the amp. And we have volume, tone, bass, treble, and middle, reverb, and master volume. Or we have gain and volume, master volume, then reverb. It can be reduced to a 1.5 watt, and we'll test it too. Let's go through the controls. You know how I like to set my amp. I like to play the amp and just give it the volume and turn off all the EQ just to know if the EQ works as a gain to the amp or it's after the preamp. So let me do that. I'm thinking the tone should probably be after the volume, so it's probably like a Vox, but let's test it. So it's kind of in the middle. It's not completely Fender style amp, but it is kind of, because it's playing way quiet, because I turned off all the EQ. Let's turn on the bass. Middle. And treble. Why do I like to showcase the amp this way? Because now I know how the tone knobs are working and I'm able to know which knob to turn on. So the treble is super high. It's higher than most amps are. The mid-range is what I would consider a treble. So it's in that spiky mid-range, and the bass is a bass. Okay, so let's try to find out a good tone, a good basic tone. Usually with tube amps, what I like to do is turn the master volume all the way up so it's fully open, and then we're left with the gain, which is kind of how Fender amps or non-master volume amps work. Okay, it sounds like a rockish amp. It reminds me a little bit of the AC-15 because it's mid-rangey and treble-y. And it has an actual spring, real spring reverb, so it's not a digital spring reverb. It sounds really cool. Let me turn on that spring reverb. It's really cool reverb. Let me turn all the way to see if it's a surfy reverb. And now, since we're with the volume all the way up and it's distorting more than a regular tube amp would, well, a regular one of mine, but since we're full on, let's test it 1.5 watt. Yeah, it's really quiet. Listen to my vocal mic on just the vocal mic without the amps mics, so you can hear what I hear in the room. So it's really quiet, but the tone is cool to play at home, so it's a good home playing amp. Let's turn the gain all the way up. Yeah, it distorts a lot. It's fuzzy, it's finicky. I think it's not as hi-fi as the Blues Junior, but I like this kind of sounding, this odd sounding amps that sound a lot like Queens of the Stone Age and lo-fi sounding, but in a really great way. Let's use it in a more standard way. So master at noon. Cool sounding amp. Let's hear how it sounds with pedals. I have my my pedal board here with a melody. Copenhagen Bender. Silver Machine, Octafuzz. Yeah, great. Full tone GT 500. Yeah, it works really, really well. It's a really cool amp for the price, and don't forget, it's extremely affordable, and it sounds really cool for home use. Let me test it at 1.5 watts at this setting. Well, that's it. I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope you have liked the show. What's your thoughts about the amp? Did you like it? What do you think about its value for the money? Is it close enough to a Blues Junior? Is it a good tube amp? Please let me know in the comments. Let's raise a discussion about the issue, and let's try to get everyone's opinion here. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to the channel and share it with the world. Leave the thumbs up if you liked the episode. Also, if you want to become a patron and support the show, you can go to the Patreon link, or you can contribute to the tip jar. If you are interested in guitar lessons, just send me an email or a direct message via Instagram or Facebook, and we'll deal with it from there. That's it. We'll see each other next week. Bye-bye.